Hey everybody, it's Andrew the Moo here, and we are going back to the stage of Brainwashed, and I'm going to skip to the end of it, where we show our evil side off. Shall we? Shall we be evil? And so here we go. We are picking the bad stuff as I get nailed right in the face. Nope, wrong one. Come on, pick the right one. Yes. There we go. We are evil now.
Why, yes, I see now. I should have used the power of rock long ago to control Earth.
I knew you'd see it our way.
Behold, the Earth. You have stalled our invasion efforts, but it is not too late to redeem yourself.
Right on. I mean, how may I do that?
It's really quite simple. All you need to do is destroy the last of Earth's defenses.
Can you say tedious? Yes, I know you could, because that's what the next stage is going to be. Tedious all over.
Defend our forces from Earth's puny missiles, then guide our satellites to destroy Earth's bases.
Once you do that, the Earth will be ours. Won't that be nice?
As long as I got my guitar, I think it'll be just fine.
So yeah, basically what's going to happen is we're going to move over different satellites on Earth, such as this one is here in India. And they're going to shoot a whole bunch of missiles at us, and it's really simple to do the missiles, but it is kind of easy to get confused and mixed up with the missiles if you're not careful. I did pretty good that go around. Then you're going to hit a minigame like this, and you're going to just go over it, and once you're done with the minigame, you're going to blow it up. Skadoosh! And it's gone. Game over occurs whenever you run out of all of these satellites, which I did not do that, although I came very, very close. If you can keep one satellite, I think you can keep everything good. So you're going to have to go all over planet Earth. Now, here's the thing I don't understand. If you pay attention to all of these spaceships around Earth, really and truly, these satellites don't mean a hill of beans at the end of the day. Or not these satellites, but these missile silos in comparison to the fleet that is over us at this moment. Earth is doomed. Even if they can destroy those satellites, man, that's all she wrote. So we make our way over Sydney, Australia. I don't know if that's Sydney or not. I just know it's Australia. And how in the world do you have missile silos that are that big? I do not understand how that is possible. By the way, if you haven't paid attention by now, I accidentally took one of them out. You see two of the satellites are gone because I wasn't paying attention. You cannot use the AoE attack because since these are only two-note kills, you don't get anything out of it, so there's nothing really good about it. But, yeah, now, I mean, that's, again, this is just a tedious boss fight because this is all it is. It's like, all right, you're over Hawaii now. Blow up the stuff, dude. Take them out. But the neat thing is, as you blow more up, you do build your health up. So there is that at least. And those two that I had just saved blew up, and I lost one extra one. So we're down to 6. I'm really good at this game. I think about this point, I had like fully checked out. I had realized just on a whim, hey, wait, there's a bad ending to this game. What happens if I, brainwashed, do what they want me to do? I just thought when I first played it, I'm probably going to end up dying if I do that. And look at the moon. The moon is like covered in those things. I'm assuming that's the moon. If that's not the moon, then good night. No, wait, that can't be the moon, because that looks like it's about the size of, if not bigger than Earth. So again, that's one of those things where I'm like, we're kind of doomed here. You know? So, we blew up the Alaskan. Oh, I didn't even realize that we were at Alaska now. But as you notice, you know, you get at least 2 things back all in one fell swoop as you destroy or as you go to the next thing. So don't be afraid. You know, if something happens and you lose 1 or 2, you know, even if you lose more than 1 or 2 every so often, don't fret. You know, we're perfect now. We're at full thing. We're probably going to lose one in just a moment. I'm trying my best to get caught up with this, and bam, we lost one. But, I mean, it's, you know, we actually lost 2. But, again, since you get, you know, these things replenished, it's not going to be the end of the world if something like that happens. So don't freak out or something of that nature. It's just kind of one of those things that happens.
Do it again.
So then we move forward. We are almost done with this. I think we've got Africa, Madagascar, and a little bit of Europe to go, and we will be done with this boss fight. But again, you know, as I said, you know, I said the word of this, you know, this stage is tedious, because that's what this is. This is just tedium. And the two that I had now skadoosh. They blew up, and so we lost 4. We have lost 4 of our pieces. So I'm going to give kind of my final thoughts about this game right now. I mean, I thought about doing it earlier or later on, but we're going to do it now, okay? What are my thoughts about this game? Because we've got like a couple of minutes before we reach the end credits, and I've got nothing else to talk about. What do I think about this game? Man, this game, you know what? I said this, I think, in like the first episode or 2. I thought this was a really neat concept when I read about it. I first read about this when I lived in Florida. I was at one of the local GameStops, and I had a tendency back then, I would grab a, you know, sheet of like games that were coming out sometime in the future, and I saw Rock of the Dead, and I'm like, the name just caught my eye at the least. You know, Rock of the Dead. It was an interesting name. I know it was kind of a generic title. You know, it's not something like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or something of that nature. But is this the Dark Souls of game names? Stupid journalists. Hey, we got 2 more of these to go. Yay. Anyway, so, you know, I decided to look it up, and it's like you could play it with your your Rocksmith or your Guitar Hero controller. You know, I played this with my Guitar Hero Explorer from Guitar Hero 2, which somehow still works, even though all of my Rocksmith paraphernalia is broken. Like, none of my Rocksmith stuff works. So I'm like, that's a cool idea, but I never bought it because you know, it was a neat idea. It had Felicia Day. It had Neil Patrick Harris. I liked Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. But then, you know, having done all that, I kind of asked myself the question, all right, what now? And so I get to looking a few years later, and I think I got this game at a really, really, really cheap price. Like, I think I got this for about $1 or $2, because I looked at the, you know, GameStop later on down the road. It's like $1 or $2. Like, all right, I give this a shot. And I tried playing it some, and when I did, it absolutely made me angry to play it, because I would get to the crocodile stage and would die.
It is all over.
Earth looks so much prettier when it's defenseless, don't you think?
Rugged.
Alright, so we have reached the end of the game, and I'm going to continue giving my final thoughts. Because, again, the end credits, we took over the world. The music is dubbed way too loud over the voices. So basically, it's just along the lines, we control Earth now, let's go get a burger. That's the running theme, let's get a burger. This game, while it is a neat idea, overstays its welcome. It honestly goes on for far too long, to the point where I'm just aggravated to death by it. Seriously. I would really love to say that I really liked this game. I thought it was a neat concept, but by the time I got to the very end of it, I honestly was just like, I really want this to be over. I want this to be over. I want this to be over. I want this to be over. To the point where I did speed up through one of the levels because I got that sick and tired of playing through that level. So, I mean, if that doesn't give you an idea of my feelings about this game, I don't know what will. It's just that aggravating. So what would I give this as far as a score? We're going through 1 through 10 now. And remember, the higher the score, the more the game stinks. So this is like the opposite of game stuff. What would I give this? I'm going to give this 8 out of... No, I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 gross guitars. Because of the fact that that's how this game makes me feel. 9 out of 10 gross guitars. This is not a good game. If it were shorter, it might actually be somewhat enjoyable. But this takes way too long to play through. So, that being said, this is Andrew the Moo, and next week, or next time, what are we going to be playing? And by the way, I will show off Rob Zombie eventually, because you can play against Rob Zombie here, but that'll be later. Anyway, Andrew the Moo, what do we look forward to? How about another game with princesses? Andrew the Moo, bye.